Recently, I reviewed a Saitama vs. Monster Garou fan animation done by a fantastic artist who goes by LYD. The link to his Pixiv account will be in the description if you want to go show him some love. And since I made that video, he's already released a few more chapters. We have about 30 to 40 more beautiful pages to go over and discuss, so let's jump into this. At the end of the last chapter that we reviewed, Garou had just transformed into his current monster state that we know in the manga. And right after he transforms, he just instantly vanishes and punches Saitama so hard, sending him flying. So as we remember from the previous review chapters, Saitama had the upper hand most of the time. Garou was doing some unique things with deflecting Saitama's punches back into his own face, which is actually an amazing counter to Saitama, maybe even the only way to actually beat him. But in deflecting Saitama's attack, he lost a chunk of his body. But now that he's transformed into his final monster form, or near to it, he's simply able to just punch Saitama super far away through the city and some buildings, and then he comes down and lands on Saitama with this brutal foot smash into the dust. Now remember, right now they're fighting on this platform of Earth that was raised up into space. Unfortunately, I don't have the translations here for LYD's version of this fan manga, but I'm assuming that Garou is saying something along the lines of, no human or mortal should be able to withstand the damage from that attack. And we see that Saitama is laying there. The foot smash landed directly on his face. He even has that footprint on his face. Absolutely beautiful artwork here from LYD. This guy is just a master of shading, and his models for Saitama and Garou are so on point. I mean, it would be hard for the normal person to be able to tell that this is even a fan manga. Saitama just flips back up like it's nothing, of course, and they're going to share a little bit of dialogue back and forth. I really love the way that he draws Monster Garou here. I mean, he looks so menacing. He kind of looks like a combination of Venom and Boros, and of course this is the model that Yusuke Murata has chosen. We don't know if in the actual manga he's going to transform anymore. Maybe if he does, LYD will update his fan manga again, because in the initial few chapters that he released, he kind of looked more like a Ichigo hollow form than he looked like Monster Garou's current state, but that was based purely on interpretation from the webcomic. And then once Murata drew Monster Garou, LYD updated Garou for his fan manga, making him transform even further. So we're going to go over to the Hero Association, as we're going to have some dialogue here about the damage and everything that's going on. And we have the bearded man who works at the Hero Association, which some creators have thought that actually may be Blast, which is funny because this is going to be relevant for later on in this review. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. So at the Hero Association, they're completely flabbergasted at what they're seeing, this cataclysmic battle between Saitama and Monster Garou. There's this huge plate of Earth that has just been lifted up from Saitama's serious table flip attack, which we will get to see in the manga relatively soon. I'm so excited to see how Murata does that. But beautiful artwork again here from LYD. Just the depth of all of this contrast and the shading and everything. It's just gorgeous the way he does his manga here. So the battle is going to blast off as Saitama and Monster Garou are teleporting around the city at super high speeds, clashing, and that's going to be a lot of this manga chapter. LYD is fantastic at depicting the action sequences in a single page. This is something that Murata is just a god of art at, and you can see that LYD takes a huge amount of inspiration, making panels that feel almost like they're animated in a single still picture. And the way he does all of the speed, momentum, and movement in these attacks is on point. Garou comes in for an attack, but Saitama just simply punches him in the face, and it doesn't even look like any sort of serious punch whatsoever. I mean, look at the expression on Saitama's face. It looks like he's just still having playtime over here, and the damage on Garou is going to be monumental. Not many people can withstand an attack from Saitama. You can see the blood just coming out of Garou's mouth, but he turns around, he flips around kind of like he did to Tank Top Master, and comes in for an attack on Saitama, who is easily able to dodge that attack and definitely looks fast. LYD showing the sheer speed. It looks like Garou's attack is so fast it's almost like cutting through space, and they're gonna blast off here and continue to have this insanely high speed battle. Now Garou comes in for a kick, which Saitama ends up blocking, and Saitama says something along the lines here of, I'll show you a kick, and he uses consecutive normal kicks. So this is fan-made and made up, but it's definitely something that Saitama could do. I mean, he is One Punch Man, but we have seen him kick before actually, and this attack from Saitama looks so brutal. I mean, you can see the blood and body parts it's just shredding Garou up into chunks and pieces from this onslaught of kicks from Saitama. This is pure awesome. Garou is taking devastating amounts of damage from the consecutive normal kicks from Saitama, and you can feel the pain because artist LYD is just doing this masterfully. Now, Garou is actually able to take a few attacks from Saitama in the webcomic. So here in this fan manga, LYD is trying to show that, you know, Garou is just as resilient. He's able to actually survive some attacks. Boros was able to survive a few punches from Saitama. Garou is also able. I think Garou survives more attacks from Saitama than anyone actually has, according to the webcomic. I believe he survives something like 4 attacks from Saitama. And as Saitama comes in for some more punches, Garou turns on the heat, starts using the martial arts, and we get this absolutely gorgeous combat sequence here of Garou using Fist of Flowing Water Crushed Rock to deflect all of Saitama's punches. I really love the way LYD did this here. This just adds so much to the comic. The way he's drawing the hands is so perfect and on point. Obviously, the contrast is just gorgeous. You can feel the speed and the martial arts coming out to 100. So this part's really funny. Garou comes in, just puts his hand on top of Saitama's head and squashes him down into the dirt, like to show the the power of Garou. Like, he doesn't punch, he doesn't kick, he literally just puts his hand on top of Saitama's head and squashes him down into the ground. Now he thrusts down with this overhead kick, smashing down into Saitama's head, going for that killing blow. The resulting shockwave is incredibly destructive. They're fighting on that plate of Earth up out in space, and the shockwave just seems to shatter that entire plate of Earth. You can see this just gorgeous landscape shot here from LYD. The plate of Earth up in the sky just starts to crumble and fall back down onto Earth. There's a chunk of a city up there. Amazing sense of scale and really good storyboarding here, showing the strength, capabilities, and sheer power of Monster Garou. So this is going to send Saitama flying down towards the Earth, and Garou is going to chase after him like mid-air and start to unleash this onslaught of attacks, kind of similar to Boros's meteoric burst. You can see just all of these after images of Garou flying around Saitama, kicking and punching him, seemingly doing an incredible amount of damage. But as we know, this is Saitama we're talking about here, and that is definitely not going to kill him. But excellent effort from Garou. Garou's going to continue his onslaught of attacks as he's spiraling down towards Earth, and then come in for this just absolutely insane mega punch, his version of a serious punch, and he's going to hit so hard the screen flashes into the light, and he punches upwards, sending Saitama out into outer space. And he's not hitting him to the moon this time like Boros did. If you take a look at this picture, I mean, it looks like he's sending him to Venus, or maybe that's Pluto. I see Saturn off in the distance. I'm pretty sure that's Jupiter in the bottom left of the screen below Earth. Anyways, Saitama is out on some random planet out in the solar system. He crashes down into this planet. Somehow he's able to survive that, but what, you know, it's Saitama. And I just want to praise LYD here for his use of space, like actual physical space. It adds so much to this like fantasy element of this comic. And Saitama's going to stand up and be like, whoa, where the heck am I? Now Garou's going to brace himself, and it looks like he's going to launch himself towards Saitama to continue fighting on this other planet in the solar system. So he blasts off, and as he blasts off, it looks like the floating plate of Earth up in the sky starts to crumble and shatter. So one thing that Murata does so well is that he zooms out of the screen and he does these super highly detailed landscapes to really give you that sense of scale and power of the characters and the environment. And you can see here that LYD is just doing this fantastically. Now for my favorite part. As the plate of Earth begins to shatter, we see something happening underneath it. An infinity symbol starts to create underneath the plate of Earth. I don't know if it's to prevent it from falling down to Earth. I think that's what's happening here, and I think you guys know exactly who that is. Who is the Singularity Man? Who does all of these black holes? Well, that's our boy Blast. And we're going to get a shot of him here in just a second. So to prevent those giant chunks of Earth from falling back down onto Earth and causing crazy amounts of damage, destroying cities and everything, Blast, standing somewhere, created a variety of black holes to eat all of those chunks of Earth and save the cities. Blast is easily my favorite character in all of One Punch Man. Here we get the picture of him with a smile on his face. I think he's just a total Chad. The chapter with him that Murata put in, I don't think I've ever been so excited reading a manga, and I can't wait to see more of him in action in the actual manga. But yeah, he's standing there somewhere. It looks like on Earth, I guess, unless he's on another planet somewhere searching for those black cubes, but it seems like he saved Earth from irreparable damage. You can even see the plate of Earth that was lifted off seems to repair itself. So maybe Blast did something like reverse time, or somehow he used his singularities to put those plates of Earth back into place. That's pretty dang amazing, and that's actually it. That's all we have for this fan manga so far, but if you guys keep showing LYD love, he probably will continue to do this. So I just want to give him the most amount of praise. These last few chapters were just completely 10 out of 10, just out of control, amazing fan art, and I can't wait to read more, and I hope the battle between Saitama and Monster Garou in the manga will blow our minds as well. I believe the next chapter, the continuation of where we had left off in the One Punch Man manga, will come out on October 8th or so. Murata put out some sort of tweet talking about it. He said, sorry for the hiatus, but the next chapter should be out October 8th. So make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications enabled. If you like One Punch Man and you love the manga, this channel is the place where we cover it. I'm Mastar. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you on the next one. If you're looking for a fun game to play, you can play Mech Arena right now. Scan this QR code you're seeing on the screen using your phone and download the game to start off with some free rewards, mechs, and get into PvP.